So let's take transportation. The solution for that is multi-pronged. So you cannot just pick one thing and say, okay, well, we can tax our way out of that, or we can borrow our way out of it. The last plan that was brought up by the Republican majority in the Assembly talked about a multiple series of things to try to make it even on the taxpayer, but shift ways that we would fund it, and then also find ways that we would see. And I'm also a big believer, being out of private industry, we always take a look at how we do something. Can we do it better? Can we bring more efficiency to it? Can we cut our costs? So that would mean, how is the Department of Transportation, what kind of contracting methods do they use? How are we dividing the pot of aid that we're giving to each of the regions? Those are all things I think we should be taking a look at. I know I'm a proponent of tolling, because tolling would allow you to fund, would allow you to provide the resources for our interstates, which then paying those that use it would pay for it, and then those funds, aid that's currently going there from the state, could be used locally. As far as registration fees, as far as the gas tax, the real question is, how do you make it what I would call equitable for the taxpayer, so that you're not overburdening one person or another.
I know that my opponent thinks that we should continue to look at borrowing at the levels I think that we've been at, and I'm not in favor of that. I think it's time to stand up and pay and develop some revenue sources. I was in the legislature and I took a vote to not automatically with inflation increase the gas tax. I've lived to regret that, because we haven't backfilled that. We haven't been courageous as governors and legislators and say, hey, we've got these transportation needs, whether they're local road aids or whether they're freeways or bridges or whatever we need. We haven't stood up and said, yeah, we got to pay for it. And I'm talking about Republican and Democrat both. In transportation, we need to look at revenue. And if we move away from gas-powered vehicles, then we need to move towards some other type of system. But for now, we still have a lot of cars using gas, and an increase in the gas tax, I think, would be understood by citizens. It would be the most logical starting place. And whether you have to go to a mileage-based system or a weight-based system or whatever, where the users are really paying for what they're using, I think the citizens get it. I think they don't want to repair their car. They want to have a decent road to drive down, and they're willing to step forward and to pay what they need to pay.
What about the possibility of tolling?
I think that's least popular with most people. I don't really like tolling.